Welcome to History Unplugged, where we take a dive into the weird, wacky, and quirky side of history. The kind of stuff that's usually left out of the textbooks. Today, we're talking about one of the most famous yet eccentric royals to ever live. Empress Elizabeth of Austria, better known as Sisi. She was beautiful, rebellious, and, surprise, obsessed with something you might not expect. Spa water. Yes, water from spas. So grab a seat and let's get into the strange world of Sisi. Let's rewind a bit. Empress Elizabeth was born in 1837 in Bavaria, a region located in southern Germany. If you've never heard of Bavaria, it's famous for its picturesque castles, like the Neuschwanstein Castle, and for being the heart of German culture and traditions, think Oktoberfest and pretzels. She grew up in a family that wasn't even royal, but when she married Franz Joseph I, the Emperor of Austria, at just 16 years old, she became Empress of Austria. Now Sisi wasn't just your average royal, no, she was incredibly beautiful, and she knew it. In fact, she became obsessed with maintaining that beauty, and when I say obsessed, I mean she went to extreme lengths. Today we're going to look at her unusual and slightly bizarre rituals to stay flawless. Now let's talk about that strange spa water she was so in love with. You might be wondering, what in the world is spa water? Well, back in the 1800s, Europe was full of natural mineral springs, especially in places like Hungary, Bohemia, today part of the Czech Republic, and Germany. These springs were believed to have healing properties due to the minerals in the water, and people would travel for miles just to bathe in them. But for Empress Sisi, this water wasn't just for baths or relaxation. Oh no, she had her attendants collected specifically to rinse her hair, every single day. Now you might be wondering, why on earth would anyone need to rinse their hair with special water every day? Well, Sisi was obsessed with staying youthful and maintaining her beauty. She didn't just rinse her hair with it, she was meticulous about the temperature and quality of the water. It had to come from only the best spas, like the ones in Hungary or Bohemia, and at the exact right temperature. To her it was a sacred ritual. But wait, here's where it gets really interesting. Sisi's spa water obsession didn't go exactly as planned. You see, the water she had delivered wasn't as pure as she thought. In fact, some of these mineral waters were actually contaminated with bacteria. So instead of making her hair more glorious, it actually backfired. And some of her attendants even experienced hair loss from using it. Can you imagine the court gossip at the time? People were whispering about Sisi's beauty routine, questioning whether all this spa water was worth the trouble. So, not only was the spa water doing nothing to enhance her beauty, it was making her look a little, well, out of touch. She was a queen obsessed with perfection, but nature wasn't always playing along. But let's be real, Sisi wasn't just rinsing her hair with fancy water, she had an entire lifestyle dedicated to beauty. First off, she restricted her diet to only the smallest portions of food. She didn't just watch her figure, she had a strict regimen of only eating what she deemed was perfect for her body. And on top of that, she exercised constantly. We're talking long horseback rides, rigorous calisthenics, and long walks that could last for hours. Her waist? Well, it was famously tiny. In fact, she was known for having a 16-inch waist, which was extremely small even by Victorian standards. Some historians suggest her waist was so tight due to her corsets that it might have affected her health, but to her, beauty was worth the price. Today, Sisi's obsession with beauty still has an impact. We live in a world where people spend crazy amounts of money on spa treatments, beauty routines, and wellness regimes to try and replicate that youthful glow. In some ways, Sisi was a precursor to today's beauty influencers. She had her own social media with the courts, and her beauty was talked about far and wide. But while her story shows how powerful beauty could be, it also raises important questions about the pressure to conform to an ideal standard. Maybe the next time you see a beauty product with all those fancy minerals or a luxurious spa treatment, you'll remember Empress Sisi and think, is this water really as magical as it seems? Perhaps some beauty regimens are best left in the past. Thanks for joining us on this quirky trip into history. If you enjoyed today's dive into Sisi's strange beauty habits, make sure to hit like, subscribe, and share with your friends who need to know that royal beauty secrets work out the way you'd hope. Who knows what other strange stories we'll uncover next time on History Unplugged. Until then, stay curious and keep exploring the weird side of the past.